Welcome to Daily Book Insight. Today, we're diving into a book that's going to challenge something we all do every single second, and that's believing our own thoughts. So this book, it makes a really bold promise to help you find the peace and fulfillment you've been searching for your entire life. And the secret isn't about adding more stuff to your to-do list, more habits, more affirmations. Nope. It's about seeing something so fundamental about your own mind that once you get it, it can literally change everything. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're gonna start with that big universal search for peace, then we'll break down this super important difference between thoughts and thinking. We'll see how it plays out in a cool old story, and then discover how it all points back to a state of well-being that's already inside you. I mean, we all know this feeling, don't we? We're all looking for that feeling of lasting peace. We read the self-help books, we go to therapy, we try the new diets, we meditate, we do all the things. But so often, we still feel, anxious, unfulfilled, just kind of stuck. This brings us to a really crucial idea. The book talks about this famous Buddhist parable of the two arrows. So the first arrow, that's the thing that happens. The breakup, losing your job, that unexpected bill, that's pain. And look, it's a part of life, you can't avoid it. But the second arrow, that's the one that does the real damage. That's our reaction to it. It's the story we spin, the blame, the regret. That second arrow is suffering. And here's the kicker. According to this book, it is 100% optional. So yeah, that's the million-dollar question. If suffering is a choice, why does everyone seem to choose it? Of course, nobody wakes up in the morning and says, you know what, I'd love to suffer today. It doesn't feel like a choice. And that's because we've got this deep-seated belief that our feelings are caused by what happens outside of us. We think the traffic made us angry. Our boss made us stressed. But the book says this is a huge misunderstanding of how our own experience of life is actually created. And this example just perfectly nails the point. Picture this. You're at home, you're safe, you're on the couch with people you love, maybe watching a funny movie. Everything on the outside is totally fine. But if you start thinking about that job you can't stand, you can feel completely furious, stressed out, and anxious right there in your own living room. See? That proves it, doesn't it? The feeling didn't come from your circumstances. It came directly from your thinking. So this leads us to the absolute heart of the book. A simple distinction that, once you really let it sink in, can unlock absolutely everything. Okay, first up, we have thought. What is a thought? Well, think of it like a cloud just drifting by in the sky. It just appears in your mind. Totally effortless. You don't try to have a thought. They just kind of happen to you. They're just neutral, raw data. And then there's thinking. This is totally different. This is the act of reaching up and grabbing one of those clouds, one of those thoughts, and wrestling it to the ground. It's when we start analyzing it, judging it, criticizing it, building these huge stories around it. Thinking takes effort. It takes energy. And this, right here, is where all our problems really start. This slide just lays it out so clearly. Thoughts, in their pure, raw form, are these creative sparks. They feel light, expansive. But thinking? That comes from our ego, right? From all our old conditioning and fears. And it feels heavy, restrictive. Like the book says, thoughts create, thinking destroys. Wow. Okay, let's not just talk about it, let's actually try it. I'm gonna ask you a question. Don't overthink it, just notice the very first answer that pops into your head. Ready? What is the dream amount of money you want to make per year? Just let the number appear. Got it? That effortless little pop-up? That was a thought. All right, you've got your number. Now I want you to switch gears. I want you to really start thinking about it. How are you going to get there? What are all the obstacles? Do you even deserve that? What would people think if you told them? Come on, really let your analytical mind go to town on it. So, what happened? Did you feel that shift? That first thought was probably pretty neutral, maybe even a little exciting, right? But the second you engaged in thinking, bam! That's when all the negative stuff floods in. The self-doubt, the anxiety, the unworthiness, the fear. This is the whole point. The suffering was never in the initial thought itself. It was in the act of thinking about it. To really drive this concept home, the book shares this fantastic Zen story that just perfectly captures the whole idea. So there's this young monk, and he's trying so hard to find inner peace through meditation. But he's getting driven nuts by all the distractions. Other monks shuffling around, birds chirping outside, even the wind. every tiny little thing just makes him angry and totally breaks his concentration. So he gets this bright idea. He's going to take a boat out to the very middle of a huge, quiet lake. And for a few days, it's absolute heaven. No people, no animals, not a sound. He's finally found the peace he was searching for. But then one afternoon, he's deep in meditation and thump. Another boat just bumps right into his. His peace is just gone. Instantly, he's furious. I mean, who could be so careless, hitting him in the middle of a giant empty lake? He jumps up, ready to just scream at whoever's responsible. And he looks over, and the other boat is completely empty. It just drifted across the lake in the wind and bumped into his. There's no one there to yell at. And in that one moment, the monk has this huge realization. The anger wasn't in the boat. The anger was inside him. The boat, the external event, had zero power on its own. It only got the power to make him angry when he added his own reaction, his own thinking, his own story to it. And the lesson is, everything that bothers us in life, it's all just an empty boat. Wow. So if we stop all this destructive thinking, if we learn to see the world as just a series of empty boats, what's left? Well, the book argues that our natural state isn't just a blank slate. It's actually incredibly positive. I mean, think about a little baby. If they're fed and warm, what's their default state? It's contentment, it's joy, it's love. That's our default setting too. We don't need to think positive to create good feelings. Those feelings are what naturally show up when all of our contaminated analytical thinking just gets out of the way. And this right here shows you the relationship perfectly. The amount of negative emotion we feel is directly tied to how much thinking we're doing. The more we're stuck in our heads, analyzing and judging everything, the more anxiety and frustration we're going to feel. But the less we're caught up in that thinking, the more room there is for our natural state of peace and clarity and joy to just surface. Okay, so this all sounds amazing, right? But it brings up a very practical question. If thinking is the problem, how in the world do we actually stop doing it? The book gives us this beautiful analogy. Imagine you have a glass of water, and it's full of dirt and sand all stirred up, so it's murky and cloudy. How do you make it clear again? You don't try to fish out every little piece of dirt, right? You don't try to filter it or fight with it. You just let it be still. And on its own, the dirt settles to the bottom, and the water's natural clarity comes back. Our minds work the exact same way. The solution isn't to wrestle with our thinking. It's just to become aware that we're doing it. That simple, non-judgmental awareness is what allows the dirt of our thinking to settle down all by itself. So what does this all mean for how we actually live our lives, day in and day out? How do we go from a life that feels like a struggle to one that feels like it has ease and flow? First, we have to understand the tools we're working with. Our analytical mind, that part of us that's always thinking, it evolved for one reason: survival. Its job is to look for threats, solve problems, keep us safe. And it's an incredible tool for that. But it is not the tool for finding joy or love or fulfillment. For that stuff, we need to learn to tap into something deeper, into our consciousness, which is what shows up when that thinking mind finally gets quiet. And this is maybe the most crucial takeaway of all. Finding peace isn't some long, hard journey of self-improvement. It's not about reaching some perfect future state. It's about realizing that peace is your natural state, and it's available to you right now, in this very moment. It's always there, just sitting quietly underneath all the noise of your thinking. Freedom is always just one thought away. Specifically, it's the thought you choose not to grab onto. And that leaves us with this final, really powerful question to sit with. What would actually change in your life if you truly deeply knew that your own sense of peace was always available, just waiting for you, right underneath your thinking? If this insight resonated with you, please like this video, subscribe to Daily Book Insight, and share it with your family and friends who want to upgrade their life. Thank you for watching.